Hello everybody, welcome back to another glitching video. I'm here with Code Pro, and today we're going to be showing showcasing a lot of glitches today. And we got a lot of lineup. And I want to preface this by saying that all glitches here are vanilla. You don't need Rocket,
Yes.
you don't need anything to do these glitches. You can do them on single player, by yourself. And yeah, it's the newest version, um, Christmas themed. So we'll get started with the first couple glitches over here in um, Summerside.
First thing on the Summerside list that we have a total of six, for the most part, glitches going on here. Two of them work in conjunction with each other, which will be unfinishable hordes and glitching out zombies. Um, but for the most part, yeah, we have unfinishable hordes, unbreakable floors, phasing, glitching out zombies, floors covering structures, and controlling a mega zombie, which is my personal favorite.
All right, so we're gonna go over here and showcase a couple of them. We got a lot of things set up here, so it seems a bit strange. It kind of is, but yeah. So we're gonna get started and show you the horde beacon. I guess we can say that the first one here.
So, how the unfinishable horde works is after you put a zombie underneath the map, it will just vanish. Typically, whenever you pulled out a pair of binoculars, you could look straight up into the sky and see where the zombie was. It was just standing in the sky. But after a recent update, it no longer appears. But we went ahead and just tested our theory anyway. The minute that you do a zombie, you put it up there like that, horde beacons become unfinishable. The horde beacon will just never break, regardless of you kill all the zombies in the area. Charles has. We went ahead and set something up as a pre-test here. Charles, if you go in level editor, you can kind of explain like what was going on there.
So yeah, basically we kind of set up a little box here to keep zombies in this little area, so we know where we're gonna put them. So that's why the barbed wire is here as a grid, small grid for the fire truck. Usually, the fire truck would push the zombies in and push them down here into this little area, which was a bunch of floors. There's a missing floor here. We tested it earlier, and once you put a zombie under the map, the zombie will start automatically destroying what's under it for some reason. I'm not too sure why, but it will start destroying it, and it will get rid of the floor eventually. And then once it falls through, it automatically disappears. So once it touches the water, it will just just vanish
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, it gets sucked down like a whirlpool, just straight down. And technically, the zombie will actually, if you run out of the radius or something, the zombie will, it won't lock on you anymore. And we tested this, and we came back, the zombie was just gone. We do have a screenshot of it down there. Charles has it. He'll post that in the video later.
Yeah, it's right here. And
But anyway,
mhm.
our first demonstration Charles wanted to show you guys was the fact that how to put the zombies under the map to create the unfinishable horde beacon. But before we show how to do the zombies under, he has done it at a different location already because we can't quite have the zombies. We can't quite do a horde here right now. We have too much stuff going on. So Charles, if you'll take us to that spot now, we'll show that the horde beacon cannot be completed.
So we're gonna go to Confederation. So Confederation Bridge, we earlier did the glitch here. We did it over here, and we set it up. So we're gonna do a horde beacon like we regularly do it. So I'm gonna get a bunch of ammo real quick. I don't think I'm going.
Another thing to reference, the only reason why we have this not like complete strict vanilla is because we have to be able to teleport around a little bit easier. But other than that, game is vanilla as we've said. So we're going to go ahead and just mow these zombies down really quickly. And keep in mind, we have already put the zombie underneath the map.
hmm So we're just gonna just do the horde beacon like you regularly do. So like a regular player, they have no idea that the zombie is under the map and like broken. So we're gonna just do the regular horde beacon. Make sure every zombie is gone from the area. And we're gonna get the. Make sure if you're doing it on Confederation, especially, make sure that the zombies over here are gone. You don't want them being there.
And sometimes they're also inside the water underneath the bridge, too. Yes, we have checked that. We know that the zombies are not
Or not.
spawning. correctly towards the end, which means that one zombie that we managed to glitch out is actually causing the horde beacon not to complete. So as you see right now, our horde beacon is still over there,
Right
and
there.
it's not broken. Me and Charles will go into level editor and show around the area really fast that there is just no zombie anywhere. Usually at the last resort, they're underneath the water, kind of around this little fallen bridge piece, but they're not. They're gone, all of them.
There's absolutely no zombies left over here in Confederation. There's none back there. There's none where zombies would usually fall, and there's no zombies on the bridge either. So there's literally no way to finish this horde beacon unless the server got reset. So let's say somebody on the server just like did the glitch and just put a zombie on. No one would be able to finish the horde beacon
Yes.
in the area that it happened in.
Now I know a recent, many like maybe like a year and a half ago, there was a thing where the horde beacons wouldn't complete, but if you killed all the zombies and ran out of the radius, the beacon would break and you could return and pick up the loot. If you do that in this case scenario, the beacon will just break and you will receive nothing. So that idea will not work if you think it will, and if you're that old of a player, you can try it, but no, that will not work.
So let's go back to not Confederate, the military base, and we'll showcase the rest.
So the first thing me and Charles wanted to showcase here is the grid on how to put the zombies under the map. So to start with, we have some plates put on the side to kind of help keep the zombie underneath the vehicle. This does take quite a few tries because the vehicle carjacks off the ground on an angle, and if it's not completely vertical at a decent height, then you're going to have a difficult time getting the zombie under the map, let alone doing it without taking a few hits of damage. So we'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. And Charles, if you want to, get that nice like that nice spectator view so they can see what happens when the zombie goes under the map as well. I'll go ahead and grab one. This will require a carjack. Go ahead and use a flight as well. If it's maybe like a large vehicle, you could use flight, but something small like this, just use regular.
So you would do that. Basically, you would automatically just go under the car, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it won't work like that, but you keep trying, and the zombie will eventually go under the car. A thing I noticed is that sometimes the zombies will kind of I guess be in front of you, and they will mess up with the carjack. So sometimes when you're carjacking the vehicle, the zombies will be in the way,
The
blocking
best
your area.
It's only really good to try to enter the vehicle whenever you see it going vertical because these plates do extend down far enough to where they can kind of clip you and glitch you and you can't get under the vehicle. You have to get the zombie to follow you underneath the vehicle. That right there didn't work.
So there you go. And then the zombie gets pushed and it's automatically gone. Now I didn't really get that fully, but you saw it just completely disappeared. It's not even here. It's not in the water here. You can't really find it in the water, and it's now under the map forever, stuck. And
That is what creates the zombies from glitching out and becoming, practically here but not here. So they're like a ghost at this point. The horde beacon cannot be completed. So the next thing we wanted to move on to was something that's been in the game for a good amount of time. I want to say maybe borderline a year, could be a little bit, maybe a tiny bit under that. Not quite sure. But basically, if you take floors, and of course, a long time ago, floors used to extend extremely far down, as more older players probably remember. But this time, Nelson kind of converted them to be shorter so they could be damaged. He basically cut off the part of the floor that couldn't take any damage, resulting in this length right here. Well, apparently, zombies can't damage a floor to a certain extent of it being, too high up like this. So, one thing that was interesting is that if we, go ahead and aggro some zombies, which we're going to go ahead and do right now, and round up maybe 3 or 4 zombies. And if we go ahead and come over here and jump on this ladder and climb up to the top, you see the zombies don't take any damage. What do you think about this, Charles?
Rather interesting. I guess you can basically put a base in military base, and the zombies can't really break it. Um, so you could do some other things with this. We'll explain in a bit. But yeah, you can literally put a base in military base, and the zombies won't be a problem for you. Usually, buildables like this would just get destroyed by zombies, or players would lure zombies to the buildables, and they'll just get destroyed by them as well. But in this case, if they're just too high up for them to reach, they won't even bother attacking it.
And as you can see, if we come over here and stand in the center for a bit to make sure the zombies have, like, a nice time to lock onto the floor and do damage, they actually aren't able to do any damage. Because in level edit, you can see them just standing there. They're trying to get to us, but they just can't do anything.
Yeah, they kind of just give up and they get stuck like this, and now they're just here. But they're still trying to get to us as code is moving around. You can still see that they're trying to get around, trying to still get to him.
The problem here is that they don't have anything to latch onto to attack. There's just nothing for them because it's too high up. Now, a regular player can shoot the floor at any position it wants and damage them.
Hmm.
But for zombies, it doesn't work like that. But you're ready to move on to the fourth glitch, Charles?
Uh-huh. All right, so we're gonna jump down here and show you the next one, which with the hmm?
Oh, it's just right over here. All right, so Charles, you want to give a brief explanation on how this actually works right here?
So we have a bunch of floors. These are regular floors, metal floors, and we have them over the barricade. The barracks, my bad, the barracks. And right now, there's zombies in there. They'll be in there as well. Sometimes so they'll get stuck to this floor sometimes. But basically, what this is doing is just covering the structure completely, and they can't really do anything unless you have raiding supplies for players. So you can technically just block off the barracks area with
This
floors
is
for new players, and they can't get anything.
very, very overpowered. If you took some metal floors and just metaled up like the important spawns, and then took like wooden spawn, just wooden, floors and just built it, around, you could easily encase military base. And all you have to do to really do this is, of course, you want to get your measurement pretty correct. But all you have to do is just build off that hill over there, build and salvage, rinse, repeat, and then you basically own military base. If you have maybe a large enough team, or if you're a very powerful one man player.
Hmm.
But the zombies can't do anything to these structures once they're in here. Now, the only thing that prevents these structures from being placed are anything that is placed or altered by another player. So, what I mean by that is if there was a little plate or siding put down, these floors will not place. And of course, with the exception of a claim flag hidden somewhere. But for the most part, you can take these floors through anything through here, and they're not, they work just fine.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty big. You can abuse that pretty well. But moving on, Charles, you want to explain our nice little trap system? This that could be done over here.
So here we have some some pipes, regular metal pipes, and we're gonna be showing you some zombie phasing. So we have a bit of a demonstration by Code that he's gonna do. So imagine Code as a regular player, and he sees that these pipes are here, and he's trying to get inside here and trying to loot the area. So he tries to build in, right? And he gets in, and he falls
And
down.
and typically this place would be claim flagged. Of course, the claim flag will come in. You'll see how you could claim flag this in a further on in the video, and how you could claim flag this under the map. But as you can see, I would come in here and loot the place. There's an Alice pack here I may want, realize it's on a rifle rack, then I'll rage. And then I realize, there's no point in me trying to build out of here because I have a nice pipe right here. Well, when a pipe is angled just right, you will slide off of it, and no matter how hard you try, you will not get out of here.
Hmm. And the reason why this is called zombie phasing is because we have a bit of a I think a mega zombie over here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we're gonna
Now,
do.
Before um before we do that trick though and show you how that works, do a small demonstration on how to exactly control the Mega Zombie. So as everyone knows in this particular landscape or military base, the Mega Zombie always spawns over here.
Mhm.
So and everyone knows that has really paid attention and analyzed zombies well. They respond to sound, movement, eating, like crafting, anything within their range, depending on difficulty and your sneaky beaky level and stuff like that. So the way to use a mega zombie is because typically the way Charles said it is that if you trap the player in here, they're either going to try to break out with charges or weapons. It's not the most consistent. But we all know that these metal pipes are absolute steel. They are very powerful. They take 2 charges, maybe a little bit over 2 charges to break, depending on the luck and charge placement. Charles, what has your experience been seeing metal pipes and how players react to them?
Well, in my opinion, the code's right. The metal pipes are really broken and really easy to make, and players generally don't really like see the value in pipes. They're just a side item that no one really thinks about. But we'll show in a bit how powerful these pipes can be, especially with zombies, and how people get really really confused
Yeah,
about why the pipes do this completely. So I
you,
think we'll showcase this in a bit, but we'll
you
show
can
you the
also
reason.
you can also take sidings and stack sidings up, preferably metal ones, and zombies will just walk straight through them. It's like a metal wall. They'll just walk right through if you stack the sidings up. They phase through those as well. But as Charles said, we have a trap demonstration set up here. So let me give you guys, this is going to be my favorite glitch that we have done so far. So as you can see here, there's a 3x2 built, or a 3x3 actually. No, 3x2, 3x2.
Hmm.
Um, how this works is you want to go ahead, well, Charles, actually, you want to give a demonstration how this, like why this is set up is the way it is.
So we have a little bit it leveled up because of the same reason over there. The zombies can't really do damage when it's too high. So we have it at kind of a low level, but not really, just a little bit high enough for them to be like this. We have the sliding here. We'll show why we have the slidings here in a bit. And yeah, we're gonna show in a bit how this really works. But yeah, for the same reasons over there, why we have this set up like this is because zombies can't really damage it still, like we said earlier.
All
And
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we will. I'll just go ahead and get started with it. This is definitely the one of the highlights of the video right here. So controlling a mega zombie. How can you use that to kill kids or whoever? A regular zombie inside this little thing, if they phase through the pipe, isn't going to kill anyone. They can just fight that off. You need something with health and damage. So why not a mega? The best way to control a mega is with sound, flares, stuff like that. I recommend a blowtorch and high sneaky beak level. So the way this would work is you go ahead and just get a mega's attention. You could stay prone or however you want, but just go ahead and slowly bring it over here. And like I said, zombies can walk through sidings as well.
Mhm.
And the point of these sidings being here is because if you look down as a player, like let's say you're a player going to loot military base and you see a mega, well, you're going to simply kill it. But if you put sidings up, players can't see it, and zombies can't destroy the sidings. Now, if you look, you'll see we have the mega zombie in this corner right here. That's because you have him too close when you go to do what we're about to show you. He'll break the sidings and expose himself to passing players, which you do not want. So from here, you want to be far enough away as well from him. That's why we do it in the corner. Plus, you have to be able to stand up in order to jump around. You don't want him to see you when you stand up. You go ahead and you place the floor down here, far enough away so he doesn't hear you, like that. And then from here, all you have to do is just sprint. You'll aggro the mega, but he's actually stuck in the floor. If Charles goes in a level editor, you can actually see his head is stuck in the floor, and his mega zombie throwing rocks don't do anything.
Yeah, they won't do any damage to the floor when it's like that. It will just hit the actual ground. So all the damage just goes to the ground and not the floor. So he'll be stuck here for forever and keep throwing rocks as long as we're here. But when we leave, he's gonna stop being aggroed and just be here by himself, not
Yes,
doing
he'll be
anything.
quiet. Yeah, he'll be quiet and neutral. It won't make any sound. Now, this is where the trap would come in. All Charles has to do is just, so let's say I'm a player and Charles traps me in here. He can literally just. So what I'll do is I will leave the area so the Mega will de-aggro on me. I'll go back to Charles. I'll just let Charles do the rest from here. He knows exactly how this works.
So basically, we'll have a player. He trying to loot. He's trying to loot the stuff here. So he's over here trying to get gear. So at this point, he can't get out because we showed earlier that the pipe there, the pipe is made to just build trust with the player. But he's trying to loot. So basically, as he's looting, another player, a malicious player at that, would get the Mega Zombie and go on this ladder here, and basically stand on top of the barracks where the person is, and the Mega Zombie will go through the pipes. And now the player's stuck here. The player's stuck. So now what the top player would do is just follow the other player around until the Mega gets aggro to them, which I think it. Yep, there you go. And then the player would have the Mega to deal with. And usually, players that get trapped are kind of confused, so they'll just get confused of why there's a Mega here, and they'll inevitably died. And this has happened many times before. You see there the pipes. He just went directly through the pipes. So that's one of the ways that you're able to use the Mega for your advantage in like a PvE setting. Like you can just trap people and they can't really do anything about it. Once they're in here, they're kind of stuck in here unless they have explosives. And if they're fast enough, they'll probably get out. But
And
most
the
players
thing
can't.
is, another thing to note about this is even though that, yes, explosives and stuff will help you get out, we have not nearly explained or showcased the sheer power of these pipes and metal sidings. If you were to go into a server and do this, you would not be using just one row of pipes. You could stack these and layer them to a point to where it is unbearable. This is just for a quick showcase video. Now, Charles, if you would like to demonstrate how you put the Mega back after you use it to kill a player and pick up the loot.
So yeah, basically it's the same concept that we did before, but basically we'll get the blowtorch. Let's go back around, and
And of course, if you're a little, if you don't need to be too quiet, you can shoot off a gun if you think all the other zombies around the area are cleared. That way you can just lure him to you in one easy shot as well.
so you see here he's just attracted to the noise like usual. So you just put him back to where we were before. Be very careful. Make sure not to mess up, because that's happened before to some people. Oh, see, just like that. Sometimes you can't really do that. But yeah, basically it was what we do earlier. Um, go to my bed
Yeah, go ahead and
and
teleport back to me, and I'll just we'll get the deal sealed here. So yeah, once you
oh, that's the first. So yeah, we basically do the exact same thing we showed at the beginning for the Mega.
he has a very small attention span.
Yeah. Did he go back all around? Damn.
Yeah, I'm bringing him over here.
All right. So yeah, it's basically what we did earlier. Um, yeah, just be careful if you're gonna put him back. You know, same thing. Code's a lot
I
better at
re-
this than me.
I recommend like a quick tap of the low torch, move it, and then once you know he's about right here, you don't want to be too close, obviously, and you want him to be in the corner. You know, prone. He'll
See, just
sneak around there.
went directly through the sliding there,
He
and
should be
then
in the corner there that I don't have to worry about him damaging the sidings.
get the floor, and then he's aggro and stuck back under, and then we just leave again by going back home and then TPing back, and that's it.
That is it. This time around, though, as you
Oh
can
yeah.
see right here, he wasn't quite in the back corner, so he did break one siding. As you can see, that's the small thing that will happen if he's not too far back. But it's pretty interesting to see a Mega Zombie stuck in the map like that, right?
Mhm.
And that right there is how you all can summon your minion to kill whoever you want, as long as you have the patience to grind on a server. And yeah, all right.
So that's it for military base. That's all the main glitches we have for military base. So we'll be showcasing a different location. Um, Airport will go next to, and
All
we'll be
right,
showing
airport.
you we'll be showing you another glitch, interesting glitch here. Um,
Ignore the contraption to the left. That's something being done in the future.
mhm. So we have a regular car here, and we might as well just demonstrate what happens. So we'll go into the car, lay down. Oh,
Yeah, let's move it out of the leaves really fast.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Oh, well,
So
it kind of did.
technically, this is going to take usually 1 to 2 players. Me and Charles have tested this quite a bit. It seems like it's more frequent if you use 2 players than one because the downforce of a player in a vehicle versus the downforce of no player in a vehicle is not as great as if there was one in a vehicle. So I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and jack this up, and Charles can be the one to get that good demonstration and going under. So whenever you're, and technically, as you can see the way the plates are lined up here, Charles would want to enter or go under through the front of the vehicle because the plates are more, right on the edge here versus the back,
Mhm.
and you want to be under where the plates are.
Yeah.
So
So
Charles,
so align your body with the plates. So yeah, code. Go ahead. So he would go up. I would lay down, and oh, well, this is interesting. And then he would get in the car, and now you push down, just like that.
right underneath the map. Very easy. Like you can do this with practically any vehicle. I recommend. I mean, you can do with a bicycle. It's pretty tedious, but you can get it to work. As you can see, there's not really much more needed to showcase on that. It's very self-explanatory. 2 plates are pretty ideal to do that. As you can see, we put one siding right there and just stack the other one off of it. Just place it as straight as you can, and that's pretty much it. You got yourself under the map.
Mhm. Yep. That's basically it for this glitch. Now we're gonna go back to our starting point and go to the next glitch, which is gonna be at Taylor Beach. Now we have a we have a long history with this glitch,
Oh
and
yes, we do.
and
Oh yes.
it's I shouldn't be the one explaining it because the person that created it is Code, so he's gonna be explaining it this one. So we're gonna go to
All
Taylor
right.
Beach,
Now
and
this glitch is particularly hard. I didn't really want to give this one away just because it has survived glitch after glitch patch after glitch patch and so on and so forth. This glitch has probably been around in this game for I want to say over 2 years at this point. Um, it's never failed me except for one time. There was actually one update that did patch it, but then the next update after it fixed it. So I mean, it died once, but it got revived pretty quickly. So this one, I don't know if anyone's ever gotten bored enough to test something like this. But essentially, you build plates down like this to a certain point to where you will pop back up through the plates. Whenever that happens, you put objects down to keep yourself from doing that. And then once your body ends up halfway underneath the map, which is what you want to do, you'll know it. You'll know when that happens. You'll get like a little bump.
we will say that sometimes it does push you up like that, but it
It is a little twitchy at times, but of course, it's also a very simple glitch too. And it's right here. This is what you want your player to do.
there
And
you
I don't necessarily recommend a high diving level to do this. It can maybe help if you're learning how to do the glitch essentially. But all you have to do from here is just swim towards the plates that are angled into the map. Since my body is already halfway under, you swim, swim, swim a little bit towards the corner, and it just pushes you straight under the map. And you come right back up, and you are underneath the map.
Yep, that's one of the glitches that we've had for a while, and yeah.
You can disguise this as plates. You can, whenever you go offline, you can remove a plate or two, and you can break the glitch, and no one's going to know what it is or how to fix it. Um, this is really it. It's really simple. Sometimes you can substitute a crate for a campfire. Sometimes you won't need a crate at all. It highly and greatly depends on the water slope. What I mean by that is the terrain that is sloping into the water here. If it's too steep, it will not work. If it's too flat, it will not work. It has to be perfect. That's why you can't just execute this glitch anywhere. There's a lot of places on this map that are very hard to get this glitch to work because it's not the terrain sloping down, through the water is not correct. But other than that, that's how that works. Charles, do you get a first person view for everyone?
So yeah, so I'm gonna demonstrate the glitch real quick. So we're gonna go like this, press Z, and then lay down into a glitch like usual, and then slowly crouch like this until you get until you get pushed up and then back down, and you go slightly into the corner, and you get under. And that's basically all the glitch. Yeah.
That works. It's very, very, very powerful. Now, we're getting towards some of the end here. As much as I want to say that glitch is one of the best, there's quite a few different ways to get under the map at this point, so it's not necessarily one of the best in the video. But Holman Isle is definitely something pretty interesting that we have going on for everyone. Charles, what do you see here that's going to be pretty interesting?
All right. So, how to control Holman? We have a we have a couple things there. Um, we're gonna showcase. That's very interesting. We have kill barriers as well. How to use kill barriers. Map avoidance as well. So we're gonna go over the Holman and demonstrate some of these things. And mhm.
So first thing we want to mention is we there was a patch that probably came out within 2 weeks because we have worked on these on and off for about 2 weeks now, and some things have been fixed, some things got changed to where new glitches were created. One of those new glitches being created would be what we're about to show. But first, I'm sure many people, knew that you could actually place plates up on an angle and crouch and peek through and place a climb flag in here and then simply just take over Homan. Well, if you're watching this video now, you probably know that that doesn't exist anymore, and that's why we're here to show you that there's still a way. So, Charles, if you'd like to explain what we got going on over here, we can get started.
So we have a simple contraption. We have a plate that's slightly a little bit more up, so it's like a little bit of a slope. Um, we'll explain a little bit later about that. And we have a doorway here and a bicycle. Usually just to get a bicycle down, you just need to get a bicycle through this hole, which is a little bit tedious. You might need a car jack to move it out, but besides that, that's all you need for this glitch. So yeah, a plate over there so you could stand on, and a doorway and a bike. So code right here is gonna do is get on the bicycle and drive into me, just like that, and voila, you're now outside the map and on the plate that you placed before, and now you're gonna be okay. So now you see he's over there inside. This is all wall right here, and yeah, we're outside the map. So Cody, if you want to come over here real quick.
Yes. And one other thing to note is you may not necessarily need a doorway to do this. We just did it because sometimes your player will get pushed to the side. Pretty easy to craft. You could probably use a plate too, but we just went ahead and used this. Feel free to demonstrate or just, mess around with whatever you think will work. But once you're in here, and of course, as Charles said, we'd explain a bit later, we're now to that point. The reason why you want to put a plate here. Anyone that, if you have ever tried to glitch in a home before, knows that over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Nelson added kill barriers to prevent players from trying to get in here. And they work, sort of. We map them out, essentially, on how that's going to work. So, Charles, you want to, explain how, and where they're mapped out at?
So we have a couple of kill barrier areas. So technically there is one right here, like right on top of here. So if you're gonna be building here, I would advise getting away from the top, the tippy top of here. But there's some areas in the kill barrier facility that's not really covered. So over there under that blue crate, that area you're able to jump under, and also a little bit of the green area, but the green area is a more risky. And down here, we're going to show you another kill barrier. Kill barrier is like right directly under that floor. So you see that floor? If you were to extend it right here, it would be directly under. So directly under that floor, there would be a kill barrier right there. As you see, Code just jumped off, and the kill barrier is like right there. So basically the kill barriers are in the areas that are like right below the floor or right above it. So like right over here. We can't really jump up, but there's a kill barrier like right here.
Yes. So basically, if you guys ever glitch in here and whatnot, you don't have to worry about anything from the bottom floor. Like if that bottom floor right there that you see were to expand outward, that expands out not crazy far, but far enough that you don't want to try to build down and test your luck. You want to make sure you're just above this floor. And you pretty much have free range to build literally wherever you want in this entire facility. You can put claim flags, generators, blockers, just anything that you want. Just make sure, I mean, you wouldn't need to, but there'd really be no point to try to go any higher than this. Just to be safe, up here is a bit spotty on where the kill barrier is. It's not as simple as the bottom one is, as it's just like a flat sheet that just spreads out from the bottom floor, the bottommost floor of the facility. I would just like to say that the top one is pretty close to the same thing. Obviously, there's a little bit of leeway with it, but I wouldn't push it unless you're just experimenting around for your own gain. But other than that, Holman is actually a very safe place to build. If you wanted to build out of here, of course, I would just build pretty far out, probably to one of those trees, decently, not too far away, but pretty far away to where you know that you're not going to kill yourself when you jump down to get into the water. And yes, if you have max diving, you can swim down to the very bottom and actually make it across to the other side and have full range of underneath the map from right here.
Hmm. So yeah, this is basically all of Holman. So we're gonna go back to Summerside, and the last one would be Fernwood, Kill Barrier. So we're gonna go to Fernwood real quick, and we're gonna show you how this it's basically how to kill a player basically with this kill barrier. So in here, a long time ago, people would abuse TPA glitches and other glitches to get inside this roof area. So to fix that, Nelson added a kill barrier in this above this room. So basically, we have a car, a plate, and all you need is the player. So basically, all you need to do is have a player here, and someone would drive a car up here, and they would push your player up a bit, which we'll show right now. So Cody, if you go ahead and stand up on the
Yes,
plane.
of course.
Also make sure that the player is able to like jump like somewhat like but not all the way so that you're able to get it. So like that. Yeah, exactly. And basically you get on the vehicle and you basically just slightly go closer and closer until he gets pushed up, and there you go. See right there. He just hit the kill barrier and he just fell to the floor and died, as you can see.
Now, an interesting thing about this is that there has been a good 2 years of work going on with this glitch. This kill barrier we have used and tried it in many different ways. There's actually been several different updates that have gone on throughout the years about things that couldn't make this work that could work. The initial first glitch ever was you would take a small ramp, a bicycle, ram it up there, um, use if you're of course if you're a gold member, you could drive it up with a character with nothing on it. You would call that a suicide character with a bedroll placed nearby. You'd drive up, hit the space bar to lock the bicycle in place, suicide, come back to your wherever your bed is placed nearby, pick up a plate and put it behind the back tire. That way, anyone that entered the vehicle could not move it at all. The bicycle was stuck. It literally could not be moved or anything. Plus, it was immune to any damage except for high caliber weaponry. So you can imagine how many people this killed. We actually set it up on a server one time, and we came back after I don't know how long, and there was just loot on the floor next to it because people would just get on it and die. It would just teleport up and die. You could have put gates down to trap people in here as well. But what I'm trying to say is that there is many um, many different ways you could try to use traps. That's just stuff in the past that doesn't work anymore. But if anyone that sees this wants to try to get creative and invent their own way to kill kids, then it is definitely possible.
So that's about it for Fernwood Farm. And we're gonna go show you like mini glitches that are in the game, just slight bugs, not really anything crazy and tingish. We set up a couple things here, just two things we're gonna showcase. So one thing is with charges, for anybody that is Raider, they can know that you're not able to highlight charges anymore if they're behind something. So you see that charge right there? There's a charge there. You go behind something, the highlight disappears. But what it used to do is that the highlight would always show no matter where. So anywhere, anything that you place, any charge that you place, would still be highlighted as long as it was in random distance. So we have a charge here, it's highlighting, and we have another charge here. It's right here. So what people don't know is when you click in the general area of a charge, so like right here, you're able to still detonate it, just like that. You're still able to detonate it, and still able to damage it like it just blew out the floor. So basically there's no charge. I'm gonna do this behind this wall. You can also do it horizontally. Just click in the general area of where the charge would be, click, and it would still work. So that's another thing that probably should be fixed.
Another
later on.
prime example of this, probably the most, probably I want to say the best prime example of this is if Charles were to go and place a charge on the inside of this vehicle's tire, which I'm sure everyone that's played Unturned to a certain extent over the years knows that there's those kids that will try to blow you up, which is common. I mean, who hasn't tried to do that to someone? Um, and when this was done, people thought they couldn't highlight their charges. Well, you can. You just have to be really, really precise and know that you're clicking on the charge.
So yeah, you would just click on the wheels. You won't see the highlight, but basically there you go, and it works the same. So basically you're still able to highlight stuff, but it just won't show up. Just click in the general direction of where the charge is, and yeah, and that's basically all that bug shows. We have another one over here. This one was very interesting. I found this by accident. I was messing around with some couple of stuff, and I found out something about a ladder. So over here, we have a regular ladder. I have a snorkel on, so it's very clear to see. It's a regular flat ladder. So as you know how you swim out of the water, so let's say I'm about the bottom of the water. Turn on the generator so I get air. So I'm at the bottom of the water, and see how slow it is to go up? It takes a while to get up to the rest of the water. But now if you put a ladder at the bottom of the water, let's say you have like a underwater base and you're trying to get to the land really fast or whatever you have, you get on the ladder and you de-equip and you go twice as fast as you regular would swim up. So code, if you want to race, do you want to race?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so
You want me to? What do you want me to do?
just stay right there and try to go up after it. So after I get off this, race me all the way up and see. Let's see how long it takes. So on 3, 2, 1, go. So I get up. Look, he's still down there. Takes a good while. So yeah, I don't know why this happens, but it's a bit of a weird bug. You just get on the ladder, go on, it goes really fast. So that's something that's also interesting.
And
But
another bug that kind of could, revolve around some waters. I'm sure everyone that PvPs know this, but you can go into third person and splice the water and remove like the foggy water effect and have clear vision of underneath the water. For anyone that thinks they can hide their stuff in the water, from experienced players, you have no chance. Even in first person, it's a little more difficult, but you can do it. As everyone knows, you can hold spacebar to raise yourself up to go underneath the water. Just straight up, you can hold spacebar. Now, in first person, if you swim forward and slowly drag your mouse downward and then hold spacebar at the same time, you will enter quiet swimming, which looks like you're kind of flopping around in the water. And if you go a little bit further past that, the water will start to split like it does in first person or in third person, and you can get a split second's clear view of under the ocean. And if you do that, you can pretty much see anyone's hidden base or anything. It's pretty easy, actually.
yeah, they're really broken. Especially with the fast, not the fast. I mean the swimming bug. That's a bit interesting to me. You could just get if you have a under the map base and you have people above on land. Basically, you just do this, and they can't hear a single thing. They're not be able to hear that you're around. Usually, with under the map bases, you can just hear the water splashing and be like, "Wait a minute, there's no water splashing should be happening here," and you can tell that there's someone under the map. But with this, you can just basically just swim by them, and they would have no idea. And with the little view model glitch, where you can just see the entire land without having the water being in the way. You could just, yeah, basically what Code said earlier is you could just see everything that goes on under
Oh,
the map.
look at this floppy motion right here.
See? It just does
I'm
that.
making Charles. If you want to teleport you really fast, you'll hear that I'm making no sound at all.
Absolutely nothing besides me.
Quietness. You don't hear a thing, but that's how that works.
Yeah. So, that's literally, I think, everything. I think we got
Charles
covered everything.
Charles did want to show one more thing. Of course, this is minor and pretty well known in the community, but walking on the top of barbed wire fences.
Oh, yeah.
I
Um,
understand. Yeah, like the walking on the poles on the barbed wire fence would make sense, but not walking on the actual wire makes much sense. So,
so yeah, we're gonna get a fence real quick. So yeah, well basically, let me get some plates.
I gotcha.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, we'll get a plate and basically jump on here. They will not do any damage to you, which is, in my opinion, this kind of weird because if it was designed like this, I would just say put a pipe just as the pipe as the top, but the barbed wire is still here, and you're able just to walk on top of it, which was kind of interesting to me. I don't know if that was just a bug or it was just like intentional, But yeah, you can just walk on top of the barbed wire. But it does do damage, and I personally believe that this should be doing damage as well if you're walking on top of it. But yeah, that's basically. I think that's everything now. Um,
Yeah,
that's all the glitches. Yeah, that's everything.
if you just that's a brief just look over on what we've just done. Just summer side, it's unfinishable horde beacons. You can ruin that. Unbreakable floors, zombie phasing through items, floors covering structures, and of course control the mega.
And before putting yourself under the map with a vehicle, yeah, that's kind of funny.
Uh,
Code's
of course,
original OG glitch
as
from.
much as I didn't want to give this one out, I figured that it's. I guess it's about time for it to be buried. So I mean, yeah, and then we got Holman, of course. That's going to need some patching again because we didn't really elaborate very much on that. But if you can see how a vehicle can just push us through a wall, I guarantee you can use that to raid bases and do just about anything with that. So that definitely needs some fixing.
And then Fernwood, the kill berries, which is used on PvE servers to kill players that don't know any better. It has happened in the past to a lot of people, and yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be it from us. Anything final?
Well, only thing final we can really think about talking about is while we were creating or working on some of these other glitches, a few other things kind of sprouted up. They were only prototypes at this point, so we have to further test them to make them actual glitch worthy to make a video on them. So me and Charles will be working on that in the near future, and perhaps we'll have something else similar like that out. Probably nothing as large as this, but currently me and Charles think that these are the main glitches in the game right now. And if these all got fixed, then the game would really be a better place.
Yeah. So that's it from us. Um, yeah. I hope that all these get fixed because personally, I don't want anybody abusing all these ever. Yeah. Thank you all for watching and thank you for listening. Goodbye.